I accept the interpretation of Ahimsa, namely, that it is not merely a negative state of harmlessness, but it is a positive state of love, of doing good even to the evildoer. But it does not mean helping the evildoer to continue the wrong or tolerating it by passive acquiescence. On the contrary, love, the active state of Ahimsa, requires you to resist the wrongdoer by dissociating yourself from him even though it may offend him or injure him physically. Thus, if my son lives a life of shame, I may not help him to do so by continuing to support him. On the contrary, my love for him requires me to withdraw all support from him, although it may mean even his death. And the same love imposes on me the obligation of welcoming him to my bosom when he repents. But I may not by physical force compel my son to become good. That, in my opinion, is the moral of the story of the prodigal son. Non-cooperation is not a passive state, it is an intensely active state, more active than physical resistance or violence. Passive resistance is a misnomer. Non-cooperation in the sense used by me must be non-violent and therefore neither punitive nor vindictive, nor based on malice, ill will, or hatred. It follows, therefore, that it would be a sin for me to serve General Dyer and cooperate with him to shoot innocent men. But it will be an exercise of forgiveness or love for me to nurse him back to life if he was suffering from a physical malady. I would cooperate 1,000 times with this government to wean it from its career of crime, but I will not for a single moment cooperate with it to continue that career. And I would be guilty of wrongdoing if I retained a tithe from it, or service under it, or it supported law courts or schools. Better for me a beggar's bowl than the richest possession from the hands stained with the blood of the innocents of Jallianwala. Better by far a warrant of imprisonment than honeyed words from those who have wantonly wounded the religious sentiment of my 70 million brothers. Non-cooperation and civil disobedience are but different branches of the same tree called Satyagraha. It is my Kalpa Druma, my Jami Jam, the universal provider. Satyagraha is the search for truth, and God is truth. Ahimsa or nonviolence is the light that reveals the truth to me. Swaraj, for me it is the truth. The Satyagraha did not fail me in South Africa, Kedah, or Champaran, and in a host of other cases I could mention. It excludes all violence or hate. Therefore I cannot and will not hate Englishmen, nor will I bear their yoke. I must fight unto death the holy attempt to impose British methods and British institutions on India. But I combat the attempt with nonviolence. In theory, if there is sufficient nonviolence developed in any single person, he should be able to discover the means of combating violence, no matter how widespread or severe, within his jurisdiction. I have repeatedly admitted my imperfections. I am no example of perfect ahimsa. I am evolving.